Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Platinum Senior Vice President Mondez Holloman.
What's up, Five Links? Awesome. Well, first off, I want to welcome each and every one of you all to this awesome business opportunity meeting. You are in the right place at the right time. I am so fired up. The announcements that's been shared over the last couple of days have gotten me on cloud nine, and I know that there's a lot of guests in the room. And here's the thing, if you're a guest in the room, I just want you to totally have an open mind. But before I get into talking about anything, I just truly think it's an important gesture to share a little bit about my background, just so that you know that there's nothing special about Mondez Holloman. Is that okay? Awesome. I grew up in the inner city of Washington, D.C. I was a product of public schools. Anybody know about public schools? My parents told me if you want to be successful, see, they never said wealthy. They said if you want to be successful, you need to go to school, you need to get a great education, and you need to get a good job. Raise your hand if you was told that. So I was coachable at a young age. I saw enough examples of what not to do. So I got an engineering degree from North Carolina A&T State University. I went back, I got a master's degree. I finished up with an MBA in finance. I figured if 2 degrees wouldn't cut it, 3 should. How many guys know they lied? Whether you go to school or not, you still end up with that thing called a job. And I learned very quickly, job stood for just over broke or jumping out of bed every day. If you make a lot of money, you got to jump out of bed to get it. And if you don't, you just a little bit over broke. And so when I came out of grad school, I started climbing that corporate ladder. Raise your hand if you know what that corporate ladder looks like. I was climbing that corporate ladder for years until I realized it was leaning on the wrong building. And how do you know when it's leaning on the wrong building? Anybody in the room ever got laid off? Raise your hand if you've been laid off or you know somebody been laid off. Wouldn't you agree the first one is just shocking? You was like, oh no, not me. But you hung in there, yes or yes. That second one, you was kind of disturbed. You was like, you know what, I can't believe it. But let me tell you something, after that second one, and I got laid off that third time, I said, you know what, I will never, ever put myself in that position again, ever in life, to give someone that much control over my life. And I just started praying to the good Lord back in 2007. Because how many guys know somebody in real estate? The real estate market started to take a dip. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed to do something. And my prayers was answered. A gentleman gave me a phone call. He started letting me know that there was ways that we could make money off of bills that people could never pay off. And I got genuinely excited. So much so, I ended up getting on the plane and flying down to Dallas, Texas to meet double platinum Senior Vice President Steve Carter to get more information about what this deal was all about. Now, we struck up a conversation, really didn't talk much about the company. We just talked about family. We talked about freedom. We talked about lifestyle. We talked about all those things that a lot of people dream about. And then I got involved. I got involved, team, and I just started building the business part-time. Why part-time? Because I was not crazy. I wasn't getting ready to leave my job just because I was excited. Does that make sense? So I was part-time, and I built it in and around my full-time schedule, and was blessed to hit the Senior Vice President position in 22 short months. Now, the thing I'm most excited about, because while that's an accomplishment, I'm more excited about the things I was able to do. I was able to pay off all my mother's credit card bills. Raise your hand if you got a loved one you would love to help. I was able to pay off all my credit card bills. Raise your hand if you got some of those. I was able to pay off all my student loans. How many guys still in deferment? If you said yes, you need to lean a little closer, because you know you got to pay them back. Does that make sense? And here's the thing. After doing all of that, 4 months later, I was making more money in my part-time business than I did in my full-time job. Now, here's the ironic thing about this, because I'm going somewhere with this story. In 2009, I got that knock on the door. And my boss came into the office. He said, Mondez, we need to talk. Now, remind you, I've been laid off twice already, yes? So I already know what's getting ready to happen. He said, Mondez, we need to talk. And instead of me saying, okay, I said what? Because I've been through this 2 times. When we need to go in the conference room, nope, you're going to tell me in front of everybody. What's up? We got to lay some people off. Well, I knew that. Is it me? Yeah, but it's not personal. The hell it ain't. How many guys agree that if you worked all your life for somebody, you put in time and money, effort and energy, and they tell you it's not personal, who can agree it's personal? But by that time, I didn't need their money no more because I was a senior vice president in the company, and I was making more in 5 links than I was on their job. So effectively, I said, listen, boss, we don't even have to go through this. Effectively, immediately, your services are no longer needed. Why don't you help me pack my stuff and let's get on out of here and make it easy? And he followed me down to the garage. And he saw one of the perks that 5 links gives us when you get to one of the top positions in the company. And I purposely parked it beside his car so he would wonder whose it was. And I hit the trunk unlock. Chirk. And he looked at me and said, Mondez, is that your car? I said, yes, it is. He said, how could you afford something like that with what we were paying you? Now, who caught that? So I said, oh, my gosh, you got me cheap. And you know you got me cheap. But it doesn't matter because you asked the question. And since you asked the question, I have to respond. I said, hey, listen, are you open to making extra money outside what you doing? Now, what's the moral to that story, 5 links? What's the moral to that story, guests? Repair your roof when it's sunny outside because you have no idea what tomorrow looks like. Had I not made a decision in 2007, that conversation would have been totally different. Does that make sense? Who can agree that if you didn't have a plan B and someone told you that you are about to lose your job, you start getting nervous. You start having anxiety. You start having hot flashes. Is everybody with me? But because I had something in place, I didn't have to go through any of that. And since 2009, I have not punched the clock. I met my beautiful wife in this business, and we proceeded to hit the platinum senior vice president position the early part of 2013. Now, I got to tell you something. I just recently came back from Washington, D.C., and I picked my boss up in one of the perks that 5 links gives you when you get the platinum. And I can tell you right now, he is watching this presentation on live streaming. So it works. Does that make sense? So let's get into this presentation because I want each and every one of you all to understand that we've got our hands on something huge. And 5 links has done something extraordinary. For the bulk of this company's tenure, they built a solid foundation on 4 pillars that we focused on for the bulk of the tenure. And this weekend, we added a 5th, and we're going to talk about all of those. But I just simply believe that before you actually partner up with the company, you need to do your research. And I'm not talking about research where you asking people questions. You need to do your research and really find out if the company is solid. So let's talk about 5 links. Are you guys ready? Awesome. The company was founded in 2001. That means we've been in business over 10 years, guys. Now, most companies go out of business in their first 5 years of being in business. So we weathered the storm. The co-founders have over 60+ years of combined experience. What a blessing to have vision like that. I wanted to partner up with people that knew what they were doing. Does that make sense? Not only that, we've hit the Inc. 500 and the Inc. 5000 multiple years. See, I love the fact that documentation beats conversation any day of the week. We've got a 50,000 square foot headquarters up in Rochester, New York. But what I love most about what this company has done over the years is the fact that they understand that in order to take this company to a billion-dollar company, they have to put representatives first. Now, I want you guys to ask yourself a question. When is the last time your job has put you first? When the last time you had an opinion? When the last time you can just say, I'm not coming into work? So what I love about 5 links is that it gives an average, ordinary person a level playing field to create an extraordinary lifestyle. But what I love even more is the fact that we are able to compress a 40-year career working into 5 years, and then you're financially free. Who's down for that ride? Absolutely. Now, I don't know why you would get involved in 5 links. You have to determine that. Some people want freedom. Some people want to be their own boss. Some people just want to be debt-free. Whatever your vice is, that has to be first and foremost identified before you move forward in doing anything. You've got to be hungry and you've got to be discontent with the status quo. Some people may want to start a children's college fund or just simply give to charity. You guys heard my first focus was to help my mother retire. Now, why is that? Because she worked 30 years for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce right across the street from Washington, D.C. They forced her into retirement. She had to move to Greensboro, North Carolina, and work at Walmart and service merchandise. Now, who in the room has a story like that? Who in the room understands that sometimes things are just out of your control? But I was not going to allow my mother to end her life working at Walmart, taking nothing away from Walmart, but she deserved a little better than that. Does that make sense? Then it got so serious to me, I realized that I had symptoms. I didn't like waking up to an alarm clock. I didn't like people telling me how long I wanted to eat lunch. I didn't like people telling me what time I could leave. I didn't like evaluations. I didn't like coming to work on Saturday. Who knows where I'm going with this? I just didn't like work. So that's what drove me to build this business. So you got to find what's your driver. Is that okay? Now, let's keep going. Documentation beats conversation every day of the week. I love the fact that we don't have to sell 5 links validity anymore. See, in 2007, people were not sure whether or not the company's going to stick around long enough. But we don't have to sell that today. We've been featured in major publications from Your Business at Home, Success from Home, ranked in the top 100 companies in all of Rochester. Are we making major moves? You better believe it. Do your research. Don't ask the person left, don't ask the person right. We've got enough sources that you can get whatever you need to make an educated decision. Is that okay? Let's keep going. Why direct sales? Why network marketing? Mondez, you got so many degrees. You got more degrees than a thermometer. Why? Why are you doing that? It's right on the screen. I never said I was the smartest person in school. You guys heard 3 degrees and said, oh, he's smart. No, I've got common sense, although it's not common with a lot of people. I know how to read numbers. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? It's right there in front of you. But let me explain something to you. You've got to be in touch with your reality. The movie industry, $10.8 billion industry. How many guys watch movies at some point in time? Well, here's my reality. I'm never going to be an actor. What's your reality? You may be still trying to get discovered. How about the music industry? $16 billion industry. Who likes the music industry? I can't sing. I try. I'm not going to get a deal. What's your reality? How about football? Who watches football? Who's played football? Who loves football? I'm not about to get a concussion. I love me too much. Now let's look at direct sales. $167 billion industry. That means it's 4.5 times the size of the 3 that I just told you about. And what's even more exciting is that each and every one of you all can participate. Is this making sense? See, when you think about direct sales, I need to clarify for everybody in the room. See, it's very simple. Every company out here that has products or services, the ultimate goal is to create consumer awareness. And what they do is they use marketing dollars. But most of us are used to traditional ways of marketing. Raise your hand if you saw a commercial somewhere before. What about watch television? What about listen to a radio? That's traditional marketing. Well, but where direct sales come in is that they eliminate the need for traditional marketing and they replace it with companies like 5 Links that have massive distribution networks that are being built. And all they say is, hey, listen, we'll pay you however much money is necessary if you bring the customer directly to if you bring the product directly to the customer. So the more people you talk about the product and share the product, the more you get paid. Now, that shouldn't be too unfamiliar to a lot of you all, because who in the room can agree that you refer things on a day-to-day basis? Think about the last movie that you just referred or told somebody about. Now, think about whether or not you got paid. Think about the last restaurant that you just referred. Now, think about whether or not you got paid. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Can you get excited about moving forward and getting paid every time you refer something that people are going to use anyway? Does that make sense? Now, I believe that timing and positioning are the keys to success. It's better to be in the right place at the right time than to be smart. And I proved that already. I've told you before, I got a lot of degrees. But let me share with you how I got out of college, just so that you guys can calm down. See, I knew I wasn't smart, but I knew how to find the smart people. Now, where do the smart people study? At the library. And here's what happens. When they study, you study. When they study, I study. When they get an A, guess what I got? A B. But you can graduate. Let's keep going. Now, here's the thing. You guys remember the trends. All you got to do is think back in time. You guys remember when the computer came out, yes? But we wasn't business savvy enough to make money off of it, but there were people that did. Let's fast forward to the telephone, long distance. The only long distance company out here was AT&T. You guys remember it? Now, who talks about long distance today? Nobody, but companies made billions off of that. How about the big body cell phone? You guys remember that? I remember it. I had one that didn't work, but it was cool back in the day. You guys know what I'm talking about. Let's look at the World Wide Web. My point in sharing all of this to you is that you got to follow the trends. Voice over IP was hot in the early 2000s. Video apps became popular, but what's hot today? Energy. Can you imagine getting paid every time somebody flips a light switch? Heats or cools their home, takes a hot shower. Text marketing. Some of you all are text messaging right now. You're using the products and services. Healthcare, you're going to get sick, but isn't it great to get paid while you get healthy? How about wellness? Wellness is a division that we're just launching, and I'm going to speak about that in a second. So let's break these things down, because 5LINX has 5 pillars of success. The first one is actually residential, products for your home. Now raise your hand if you know somebody that has a home. My point in sharing this is that security systems, home phone service, energy. Energy is a $5 billion industry. And all we're simply saying is, wouldn't it be exciting just to get a piece? Now, you don't have to be convinced to pay your energy bill. Guess what? It's hot, it's cold up in the north, yes? They're not going to force you to pay your gas bill if you want heat. If you don't pay it, they cut it what? Does it work? Yes. Mobile phone service. We're partnered up with multiple different companies to provide mobile phone service, but the biggest one is our own mobile phone service, which is exciting. And after this weekend, you guys are going to be jacked out of your mind about this. Now, let's keep going. That was the first pillar. Let's talk about the second pillar. Now, the second pillar is products for your business. Now, who knows someone that owns a business? Think about commercial energy. Think about text marketing for businesses. Think about the fact that you can provide healthcare alternatives for businesses. Satellite TV. Can you get excited about getting paid every time somebody swipes a credit card? Is this making sense? Let's keep going. We got products for your personal use. Let me tell you something. If you're not on top of checking your credit, if you're not on top of protecting your identity, something is bound to happen to you in the worst way. Now, what's even more exciting about that is that you don't have to convince somebody that you need to protect your identity and that you need to have good credit. Now, some of y'all go against the grain and just choose otherwise, but you still need to have good credit. Does that make sense? Now, on top of that, we got data protection and a whole host of other services. But what's more exciting today is the fact that we got 5 pillars. This is the 4th pillar. The 4th pillar is entertainment. Velocity tablets. I know that the iPad is out there, but guess what? I'm excited about the Velocity tablet. Why? Because they pay me. Is that okay? Satellite TV. But guys, in my 6 years of being with this company, we were not complete. We only had 4 pillars, but now we got the 5th pillar. Why? Because we made a lot of money just with what we had. The company grew with just what we had. But here's the thing that the leaders found out. We were not focused on our health. So what good is it to have all this money and not be healthy? So here's the thing. This weekend, we just launched our wellness division. Now, I'm so fired up about that. Listen, the company has put so much on the table. I'm telling you, I fell in love with the name Montevita. Now, on the count of three, I want all of you all to say, Montevita. See, y'all not coachable, but I'm going to work with you. On the count of three, I want all of y'all to say, Montevita. 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you, that's going to make us a boatload of money and take this company to $1 billion. But here's the thing. It's not going to happen until we make it real for you. So now it's time to turn the radio station to WIIFM. That means what's in it for me? That's what you want to know, right? I mean, Montevita was cool, right? But who cares about that if you ain't making no money? I've got the awesome opportunity to bring out a young lady who not only understands how to make the money, but she's done it in such a way that she's blessed and helped a lot of people change their lives in the process. I was blessed to see her get started and grow a dynamic organization through the ranks, went through all the challenges, was blessed to meet her husband in this business, and they're doing something phenomenal. But what I love is she's a humble individual, but she's hungry. Now, if you got somebody that you can learn how to make millions from, how many guys agree that if you haven't yet figured it out, chances are you should actually lean forward and pay attention? Can we do that? So I want you guys to help me and stand to your feet and bring to the stage my partner, $1 million earner, double platinum senior vice president, advisory council member, Ms. Tashina Anderson.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? First of all, let me give it back to my brother, Mr. Mundez Holloman. He did an amazing job on that first half. This is such a historic weekend. I don't know if any of you know this, but this is the first time in company history that a woman has done the second half of the presentation. So I'm excited. And I'm excited because so much of my life has changed over the past few years. I've been with 5 Links now for 8 years. And through that journey, so much has taken place. I'm now a mother of 4. Give me a pat on the back for that one. And you know, when I first came into this business, I had 1 son, and I remember a lot of the reasons for wanting to get started has so much to do with wanting to be a great mother, wanting to provide more, and feeling like I wasn't doing my job as a mom. How many of you, sometimes your kids want things, and financially, sometimes we just can't give them everything that they want? And I remember joining this company because I said, this is an opportunity now where I can take their lives to the next level. And I'm so proud to say to today, my children are in the best schools. They've traveled the world. They've done things that I never was able to do as a child. Now, not only am I a mother, I also used to be a school teacher. So do we have any school teachers in the house? And we know that teachers are never paid with their worth. And one of the things I love about this opportunity is that it's available and anyone can do it. So I come from this background where, you know, I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't know a lot of people, but I wanted something more for myself. Now, along the way, I've accomplished so many things. For one, I'm the youngest double platinum senior vice president in the company. I'm also the top residual earner in the company. And I've been able to build this business over the past few years with an understanding that what I'm doing is I'm building for generations to come. I'm building for the future. I'm building for my children's children's children. How many of you are involved in a job today that you can say when you leave here that you'll be able to will that job over to your children? Not too many of us. And that's what 5 Links does for you. It gives you an opportunity to build a legacy for your family. So tonight is all about one band, one sound. This is about us building for generations to come. And I have the pleasure of presenting the money. So how many of you are ready to hear about the money? Do me a favor, give me a Jerry Maguire, show me the money. I want to show me the money. No, you're not saying it like you mean it, Jerry. I need you to show me the money. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it. I want you, if you have pen and paper, I want you to start writing things down. Now, we have some new announcements, but we also have some things that are a little bit different in our compensation plan. And here's the great thing, because you can get started with the company and you can become profitable within your first 30 days. And this is exactly how you do it. How many of you would love to earn an extra $500 in the next 30 days? Raise your hand. How many of you could use it? How many of you could do something with it? So there's two things that you need to do. When you get started, you need to get 10 personal customers. How many customers? Now, you guys saw the bundles that the company put together earlier, yes? So it makes it really easy for that new representative to say, you know what? I can come in with a bundled package and I can get on my own services, and before I even go to any friends and family members, I can get started and I have my 10 points that I need for my bonus already. How many of you think that is absolutely amazing? The second thing that you need to do is you need to find 2 people that are overworked and underpaid. 2 people that are looking to make extra money. Do you know them? 2 people that are business-minded. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to share the opportunity with them. I'm just going to speak from experience. When I first got involved in the opportunity, some of my first business partners were friends and family. And what did I do? I didn't really know a lot about the business. I came in and I just showed them the same plan that was shown with me. And at the end, I said, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Everybody say it with me. Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Now, is that easy? Absolutely. Now, when you do these 2 things, the company gives you how much? $500. Now, let's go on, because I want you to understand the concept of 5 links. Now, if you take a look on the left, it says the CEO, the president, the vice president, the director. It goes all the way down to the blue-collar worker. Now, how many of you know you probably fall somewhere down on the bottom of that pyramid? Yes? Now, a lot of people get confused because they say, is this a pyramid? Or what is it? Well, this is network marketing. And the good thing about this business is that you can actually start off on the top of the pyramid. Yes? Is that exciting? So you don't have to work your way up. You come in at the top. And then as you're building your business, building other leaders that are working with you, that are growing their business, what happens is that they make money, and when they make money, what happens? You make money. Now, this allows you to leverage your time and to maximize your income. I'm going to tell you why this is so important, and I want you to understand this, because you are going to know a doctor. You're going to know a pastor. You're going to know a lawyer. You're going to know someone who makes a lot of money, and what they're going to tell you is, I'm good. But the honest truth is that they have 0 time. Now, we know this because we have so many of them in the organization. And the reason they look at 5 links, the reason they're excited about it, and the reason that they take it to the next level is because they all want their time back. So if you can share with them how this compensation plan makes sense to them, what you can do is you can start giving them their time back. Does that make sense? So it starts to grow. Now, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I have over 95,000 business partners in the last 8 years. You can clap, it's okay. But it grows, and even more than I even expected. Could you imagine if you're sitting in the audience right now and you're saying to yourself, or you're watching this live and you're saying to yourself, I don't know a lot of people. I don't know 95,000 people. Here's something that I want you to understand. I didn't either. I just knew a handful of people. And if you can show a handful of people of how to have success, how to do the exact same thing that you did, you can grow a large organization. Now I want to show you how it grows and how you make something called residual income. Everybody say residual income. Now I want you to feel it, because this is what's going to help you to retire. This is what's going to help you in the next few years to be sitting on the beaches of the world. How many of you are waiting for that? Can you feel it? Can you see it? You're going to be waking up and just asking, do I want to go to the bank or do I want to go to the beach? I have a choice. So this is how it works. With residual income, you start to build something that is a retirement fund for yourself. So you don't have to worry about when you reach that retirement age having to go back to work at Walmart, because you're going to have your 5 links business that's working for you. Now this is how residual works. Let's just say, for instance, you have about 20 people on your team, and they each have about 20 billing customers. Do you think that's possible? Do you know 20 people? Do you think it's possible for someone to get them to get some of the services that Mondez spoke of? So how much money is that now in a month? It's showing you the lowest commission, which is 50 cents on average. That's $200 a month. Now you're not getting excited. Doesn't sound like it's going to change your life. But can you pay a bill with it? Can you do something with it? If you knew on the 15th of every month you had $200 that was going to show up in your mailbox, you just had to be there to receive it, would you be there? So it's significant enough, isn't it? If $200 just so happened to drop out of your pocket and it start blowing in the wind, would you chase it? So it's significant. Now this is a residual income, but let's keep going. I want to build your vision. Let's just say you're in the business about 5 months and you have a team of about 200 people. 200 people, 20 billing customers, showing you the smallest average commission, 50 cents. How much money is that a month? $2,000. Can you do something with it? Can that change your life? Do you know an extra $2,000 a month could change the car that you drive? It could change the school that you send your children to. It could change the shoes that you wear with an extra $2,000 a month. But I want to stretch it even further. How many of you like to be stretched just a little bit further? How many of you would like just a little bit more? How many of you have dreams that, you know what, I have some things that I want in life. I have some things that I want to accomplish. How many of you want those things in life? Let's add a 0 onto that. Let's see if we can accomplish those dreams. Now you have a 0 on that 200. Let's just say you have 2,000 people on your team, and they each have 20 billing customers. How many people? 2,000. How many do I have? 90,000, because I know you're up here counting my money. Let's just say you have 2,000 people on your team, 20 billing customers. I'm showing you a small commission of 50 cents. What does that turn your residual to? How much? Don't say it like it doesn't mean anything. How much does it turn your residual to? $20,000 a month. Can you do something with it? Can you change lives? Can you give back? Can you fly anywhere you want to fly? Can you get that private jet, that butler? Ooh, I'm going there, huh? I figured there has to come a point in time when someone rings my doorbell that I don't have to get up and answer it. I want a Benson. I want someone to just answer the door for me. Don't you guys want that? Is it okay to want those things? This is your residual income. But we also have something called weekly leadership bonuses. And what happens is you get paid as you're building your organization. So if someone comes into your business, you're going to get paid a bonus. And not only are you going to get paid a bonus if you personally bring someone into the business, but you're going to get paid a bonus if someone in your organization brings someone into the business. So at the executive trainer level, the company pays a $25 leadership bonus. Do we have any executive trainers in the room tonight? Please stand. Let's give them a round of applause. Take a look around. The next position is executive director. You make up to $85 at the executive director position. Do we have any executive directors in the room tonight? Please stand. Uh-oh. Here's the next position. Because this is really when you can take control of your life. This is the position where you should be able to say, I have a choice whether I want to go in or I have a choice whether I want to sleep in. And that is called national director. Do we have any national directors in the room tonight? Please stand. Uh-oh. Here's some other positions. It gets better. My friend Sonny Pinion says it gets gooder and gooder. So then there's senior vice president. Do we have any senior vice presidents in the room tonight? Please stand. Now take a look around. We have over 300 senior vice presidents in the company today. And this is the position where you start to really feel it because you get a corporate package that I'm going to talk about in just 1 minute. And then it gets what? There's a position called Platinum Senior Vice President. Do we have any Platinum Senior Vice Presidents? Please stand. Woohoo! And then we have something called Double Platinum Senior Vice President. Please stand. That's where all the money is. But I want you to see some of the things that you get. At the senior vice president level, you get 5,000 shares worth of stock. You get a BMW car allowance. You also get $3 for every Global Links customer that comes into your organization. You get an annual vacation, and you get a $1,000 to $3,000 expense account. Now, how many of you could use a nice, silver, blinged out BMW to drive around in, run your business, do your meetings, talk to all your professionals? How many of you could use one of those cars? It's nice, right? Well, it gets what? Yes. And then it becomes Platinum Senior Vice President. And what do you get at Platinum Senior Vice President? You get a new car. And I want to share a story with this car because you get a what? You get a what? You get a what? Say it one more time. You get a Bentley. Can you imagine? Now, I really honestly had no idea what it was like to drive a Bentley. It's like a house on wheels. One of my favorite stories is this one. I have the car, and it goes kind of fast, so you really don't even feel it. You just put your feet down, it goes, and it like takes off. And I'm on the road, and it's a long road, and I realize as I'm driving, there's this cop that's right next to me. And I'm just knowing that I'm about to get a ticket. So I reluctantly look to the left, and I'm giving him this like, because I can see him keeping up with me. And he's in his car, and he looks at me, and he does this. I mean, what do you think I did? I just said, because this is an automobile that is beyond even thinking. It's one of those things where you can't even imagine it until you get it, until you have it. And when I first got involved in the company, it just tells you how far the company is growing. There were no BMWs. There were no Bentleys in the company. The only thing we had was a vision of how much money we could make with the company. So you get a you get a Bentley, which is a $4,000 a month payment. You also get into the platinum bonus pool. Now that's exciting, and I know for you right now, sitting here today, you might not understand what that means. But I want you to imagine this. Think about whatever it is that you make in a year, whatever that amount is. And it could be different. Some of you might make 50, some of you might make 100, some of you might make 150 or 200 or whatever it is. I want you to think about getting that check the first of every year. And that's how you start your year off. Because when you're a part of 5 Links and you're a Platinum Senior Vice President, you get into the Platinum bonus pool and you get to profit share with all of the other Platinum Senior Vice Presidents. Now we're excited. I'm going to tell you why we're excited. Because tomorrow, what do you think we get? Our Platinum checks. And I just love it. I absolutely love it when the person sits there and they look me in my face and they say, well, this seems interesting. Really? The check that you would normally get for the entire year and people get it in one day in the beginning of the month, that seems what? Use that word again. Interesting. Have you heard it before? I want to delete it from their vocabulary because there is nothing interesting about getting a check that most people get in a year in one day. That is absolutely fantastic. There's other benefits. The ladies get a little bit of bling. We get a 5 Links diamond pendant. The guys get a Super Bowl ring. But guess what? We have something new to show you. Because it gets what? It gets what? Could you imagine? I remember the day when I thought the BMW was great. And then they added the Bentley, and I said, oh my gosh. And then I remember sitting in the room, and they said, we have something else for you. And in my mind, the only thing I could think is, there's more? What you've given us was more than enough. But there's more. How many of you say more? More. Because dreams can come true. There's a new position in the company, and it's called Diamond Senior Vice President. And say this with me, there's more. So when you hit this position, there's a $300,000 bonus that you get. You also get $10,000 a month in something called a lifestyle credit. Now, I want you to know a little bit of history behind this because I remember the day that the company asked the advisory council, they said, we have a question for you. Do you want what's behind door number 1, which is the $3,000 a month, $3,000 bonus, $10,000 a month, or do you want what's behind door number 2? And that was the option of flying private. Now, we couldn't figure out which one to choose. But one of the things we were thinking, well, if you give me the bonus and the lifestyle credit, I can fly anywhere I want. I can do what I want with my money. I can take myself on trips all the time. I can live the life that I've always dreamed of. And this is what position? Diamond. Now, there's 2 ways to get started in the business. How many ways? 2 ways. The first way is called CR. It stands for, when you want to write this down, Customer Representative. The license fee is $99. But this is very much for a person who just wants to get paid off of what they do. And it's kind of like saying, do you want some of the money or do you want all of the money? Because if you want all of the money, you want what we talked about today. You want to get started at a position called IMR. If you take a look at any top leader in this company, they got started at a position called what? IMR. And what does that stand for? Independent Marketing Representative. Your license fee is $249 to get started in the company, and so that you could have access to the companies and the products and the system that we had in place that Mondez shared with you. Now let's just recap a few things. When you get started, what do? You get 2 people in the business in your first 30 days, you get your 10 customers, and that pays out a bonus of how much? $500. Just so that there's an understanding of how this works, The company wants to make sure the minute that you get involved in the business that you're not left alone. They want to make sure that you have training. We have local, regional, and international training events. You're actually sitting in our Miami 2004 International Training Event. Now, you get a personal website. You get 5 Links University. This is a training system that has been designed for new representatives. And you also have business reporting so that you can track everything. You get a lot of support, and someone's going to walk you through the process. So we have a system in place that says that immediately when you get started with the opportunity, within the first 24 to 48 hours, someone is going to go over exactly how to get your money back, to get a return on your investment, and they're going to go over how to build your business. So that's exciting, isn't it? Because you're not left alone, and that means a lot. And I want you to see the leaders. I want you to see the people in the company. I want you to see the people that have had success, because I think that's so important. Some of you are sitting there right now, and you might be looking at myself. You might have looked at Mondez and said, well, you know what? Maybe they can do it, but maybe I can't do it. Maybe this isn't for me. So I'm going to need the help right now, because we have so many people in this room today that need this opportunity, whether you know it or not, whether you are making money or whether you are just getting by. You're going to not only need this opportunity, but I promise you this, you are going to be glad that somebody put this in your lap. So I need all the senior vice presidents and above to join me on stage. All the senior vice presidents and above to join me on the stage. And if you guys can hurry up so we can get to the end of the presentation. I want you to see some of the leaders that are in this company. I want you to see the faces of the people who have had success, that are sitting in the audience and they're just like you. You know, a few years ago, a few months ago, they might have taken a look at this opportunity. And a lot of them will tell you this, that they had no idea that this business would have produced for them what it's produced today. When you take a look at some of the people that are standing on the shades, how many of you realize that they all look different? Yes? How many of you realize that they all come from different places? They're different ages. They're different races. And this is one of the things that I love about this opportunity, because there is no discrimination. There's nothing that's holding you back from your success but who? But you. So we're going to get to the end of the presentation, because I truly feel like that there are 2 types of people that look at this opportunity. How many? 2. How many? And I want you to make a decision on who you are. There are people who make excuses. There are people who are going to say to you when this presentation is over, they're going to say that this looks interesting. Someone is going to tell you that they do not have the money to get started. Someone's going to say, you know what? I really don't have the time for a business like this. Someone's going to make the excuse and say, you know what? I don't know if I can do a business like this. And these are all excuses. Because there's the other type of person. There's the person that's standing behind me. There's the person that took a look at this opportunity, and even when they did not have money, they found the money. There's the person that's standing behind me that says, you know what? Even when I didn't have time, I was running my business, I still made this a priority because I understood the potential in the company. There's a person that's standing behind me that does not make excuses because they realize what is taking place with this opportunity. They don't make excuses. And I believe that there's someone right now in this audience that is just like the people that are right behind me. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have dreams that go beyond what you can even think of. You're that person, you're sitting there and you want this so bad, and you could be thinking, I don't know if I have enough money in my account, but you will not leave this audience without saying, I'm going to find the money, because you're just like the people behind me. I believe either you are going to make the excuses or you are going to make money. You can do one, but you cannot do both. I know these people, and I can tell you that their vision stretches beyond the sky. Everyone behind me has an opportunity in their hands, and they want to bless others with it. They want to show them how, you know what, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you can do this too. You can fit it into your time. You can become the person that you've always wanted to be. And I know you're out there. So if you feel like you're not the person that makes excuses, you feel like, you know what, I want something more from my life. If you're the person that wants to stand on this stage and you want to be one of these leaders behind me, I want you to stand up right now and make a decision. Keep standing. Keep standing, because I want you to know something. Because someone told me that you can never get to the top alone. Someone told me that in order for you to have success, you have to shake hands, you have to be able to rub elbows with the right people. And today I'm going to provide that opportunity for you. So I want everybody that's in this audience that says, you know what, I'm looking at it for the first time, but I will not make excuses in 2014. I will clear my debt out. I will pay back my student loans. I will do more for my family in a new year. I want you to go to the right of the stage, and I want you to start shaking the hands of all the leaders in this company and start welcoming you to the business. So please get started. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Start walking, guys. Walk to the stage. Shake the hands of the multimillionaires, the leaders that are building this business.